Hello, hello, and welcome everybody. JB here with JB's RCs. Thanks for stopping by. Got an excellent run-in video for you today. One of my favorite trucks. This is a Redcat Gen7 with some modifications and upgrades to it. I was always a fan of this chassis. Very simple, very easily set up, and it actually has, from the factory, extra holes drilled in the chassis for your shock mounts and your link mounts, so you can change your wheelbase on these. You can change your shock positioning on these. They did a really nice job with this chassis for being as old and as dated as it is. I was quite surprised with that, so I've always just played with this truck. What can I do to make it different? The axles were horrible. So first thing I did was change the axles out. I got some metal Capra axles on there, actually, those portals, a little bit wider. They're full metal housing. I did upgrade the pinion and spur gears in there, so I do have a little bit of overdrive in the front as well. We're running just a touch on the front, maybe a 13%, I think it is. Just a little. Of course, to do the Capra axles, I did have to adjust the links, but those are still the stock links on this. They have some kind of the lower links or like a high clearance link. Gives you a little bit of extra. I'm still running stock shocks on here as well, although I did bend one of the shock shafts on this run. When I got home, I was like, wait, why is that rear shock stuck in there? And then I gave it a yank. It came out the shaft itself. It actually bent down a little bit, so we're going to have to get some either new shocks or replace that shaft itself or figure something out. But we are running full droop, no spring. Those are Redcat Gen7 shocks on there. They work very well. I did upgrade the drive shafts to metal drive shafts. I believe I just wanted that weight down there. We are running the Reefs brass 500, raw 500 brass servo. So extra weight up in the front, holding that down. I believe I do have some brass wheel weights on the front as well. Speaking of wheels, we have some 1.9 metal beadlock wheels on there with some Jconcepts landmine tires. Those are a 4.55 size landmine. I've been having trouble finding those anywhere. If anybody knows where I can find some in that size, pretty much everything they have that I see everywhere is a 4.19 or a 4.75 size. These are like 4.55s. They're smaller than any other landmine that I've gotten. It's a 4.75. A little bit larger than the 4.19s, which I do love, but more of a scale look for performance. These were my favorites. Still running stock foams in there. Still running stock motor. We're still running stock ESC, stock transmitter, and stock receiver, which is insane to think. But the best part about that all is when I put those portals in, that just dropped the gearing down a lot. So now instead of being like trail geared like it was stock from the factory because of the portals put on there, it dropped it down, and now it has an excellent drag brake and an excellent crawl speed with all that stock stuff. And if I had straight axles on there, it'd probably be a little fast, and the drag brake probably wouldn't be as good with the extra weight. But the way I have it set up, it's great. Other than that, you're just looking at a Jconcepts pinched Chevy truck body on there with some killer orangish red paint on it. I love the color. And then I'm running a metal front chassis brace because I broke that plastic one a long time ago. And then I'm running metal front and rear bumpers on there. You can see those are real low profile, really cool little bumpers. I got a few sets of them. They come in silver and gray and black. So I just think they look awesome on there. Yeah, this truck performs great. Always a fantastic ride with this. I love the look of the truck. The stance of it is probably my favorite part. It's just nice and low and wide, and just it looks good. So, yeah, that's the truck. And of course, hanging out at Arapica St. Hills Preserve. Hanging out with a couple buddies over there. Yeah, see, there's my old SEX6 right there. I sold that to a gentleman named Tommy. He's been rocking it out. I believe at this point he's actually traded it away to somebody else for a couple other trucks. He loved that thing. I loved it too. Really, I really didn't want to get rid of it. I never used it because it was so big and heavy and hard to carry around. I'd added a lot of weight to it and changed a lot of things on it. So it was about somewhere between 40 and 45 pounds with batteries in. It's a lot to be carrying around, and if it breaks out on the trail, then you got to carry it back. That thing looks cool there, huh? You can can see the size difference, obviously, my 10 scale versus that 1/6 scale. But, hanging out with Ian's RCs, as usual. If you haven't checked out his channel, go check it out. He's starting to get back into the mini crawlers there. So if you're into that 18th, 24 scale stuff, he's got a bunch of videos on that. He was into it really hardcore for a while, and then he kind of got out of it for a little bit and got rid of most of his trucks, but now he's getting back into it a little bit. So, yeah, if you guys are interested in those smaller scales, go check him out at Ian's RC. Great guy, good friend. His son was out here with us as well, Micah. You can probably see their trucks in the background, and then some friends, Tommy and Dan and Billy Bob, all hanging out, just having a great day. I'm sure you've heard me in the background and all of us talking in the background there. It was a gorgeous day. It was sunny, it wasn't too hot, and the wind was blowing nice, so it was wonderful. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the video. We're coming up toward the end here, so just a few more minutes. Thanks for sticking around if you have. Appreciate all the support. If you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, and smash that notification button. Keep you notified on them future videos, which I'll have more of. And of course, I always detail my rides, so nice, cool, something to watch, and some details in the background in case you have one of these trucks yourself. You can do maybe some mods and modifications or upgrades to it, such as I have. I go for a semi-scale look, but performance as well, so that's a good inclination of what you see in my videos, is something that doesn't look too fake, but also performs extremely well. So it's a tough combination to get the two, especially with bodies, because if you want performance, you want these lighter bodies, obviously, that you can cut away a lot and not worry about for your suspension flex and your steering. Whereas for scale, you're probably going to get a hard body, which you can't really cut up too much. and you can, but they're a little more difficult. And of course, they're a much heavier body. And with those, you'd want to be doing interiors and scale pieces. And again, that's more weight up at the top. That gives you a little less weight down low, which is where you want it for the most part when you're performing. So I also don't like my trucks to be too heavy. Then you're putting a lot of strain on all the gearing and all the UV, CV, dog bone joints that are in there, and your motor and your ESCs were getting hot, your servos are getting hot. So I like a 8 to 10 pounder maximum. My favorite's about an 8 pound truck, which is where this is at right here. And that's my favorite. So yeah, anyways, thanks again for watching. We are coming up to the end here, and hope you've been able to withstand my rambling. We'll see you guys next time. Get out there and have some fun.